Hey, okay. I try to do my religious thing because of all the studying I've been doing, but some of it's right, some of it's wrong. I'm still learning. But what I'm here to talk to you today about is what you people are doing to your own country. My Lord, ain't you people got spine? I mean, goodness gracious. You know, I'm one of those people that travels through the world and I bump into people. That's just the way it works. And I get in situations. We all do. We run into scumbags. We run into good people. You know, that's how the world is. Well, I got stuff to tell you about old Jim Justice, the governor of West Virginia. Guy's biggest crook on the planet. Seriously. And he's playing tiddlywinks with the Russians. That's what's even funnier about the situation. He's got this thing called the Greenbriar Hotel. It's got a casino in it. And, well, some of his employees were blackmailing his guests. Ones with money. And it was so bad. Oh, I swear, this is so true. One of the dealers was blackmailing the other dealer because the dealer's father worked for a bank. They wanted money. And then on top of everything else, these Russians were coming into the casino. One woman in particular, and I got proof. She'd fly into the airport in Lewisburg, and she'd take and travel from there, straight from there to the casino. She'd open her bag. She had a big old bag full of cash. She'd go up to the window. She'd exchange it for chips. Then go to the blackjack table and sit there about 2 to 4, 6 hours, somewhere in there. Not too long. She never sat a whole day that I ever saw her. And she'd play blackjack and she'd walk out there with triple every time. She did this, I knew, 4 times a month. Then she'd go back up to the window, take all them chips, cash them in for cash, and she'd leave the casino, go straight back to the airport, get on a plane and leave. It was a Russian woman. I know, I sat beside her. I talked to her. So, I don't know about you all. I'm pretty sure they call that money laundering. And she kept doing it too. I know. I was watching her, taking pictures and doing all kinds of fun stuff for a couple of months. Because I don't like when people rip me off. And I don't like when they try to blackmail me. And I don't like to see them hurt others either. This one man I knew in the chain of pharmaceutical companies, very wealthy gentleman, took his family there. Very nice to me and my husband. And in fact, we all sat and had dinner there in the casino. They had I think it was a sushi restaurant, if I remember correctly, or an Asian restaurant. We were sitting there. And he brought his sons. Spent a weekend. Well, do you know they double billed him? He had a cabin for $30,000 for the weekend. They charged him $60,000. No bull. Well, that's what he told me. Because he was an awful nice gentleman. And he was very nice to me and my husband. And I never forgot that. So, then you got to look at the fact that old Jim Justice sold off his coal mines to the Russians. You got these Russians coming in laundering their money in his casino. And then when I won a bunch of money, I took it to my bank. And this is no bull either. I won a lot of money too. I had a bag full myself. Had to take it to my bank. I was never so embarrassed in my life. You know, because you walk up with a bag full of cash, you know, it looks kind of funny, you know. So, anyway, I go in and see the lady at my bank. And I take this money out. Of course, she takes all the money. She goes up to their machines where they count the money. She goes because she had to come into her office. And she goes and takes the money away. Well, next thing you know, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of bills. I'm telling you, hundreds and thousands of dollars. And anyway, so, oh my Lord, she comes back and hands me these bills. Not all of them. There was just some of them. And do you know they was counterfeit money? Counterfeited. So I had to sign my name. I had to say where I wrote where I got it, the date I got it on, and everything, because the bank, by law, has to send it to the government people, you know, to the U.S. Treasury and who investigates such things, you know, I guess the feds or whatever, I guess. I don't know. But the point is, she had to do that. But I had to sign my name, put the date on the thing, and right where I got it from. I go back to the casino and said, hey, you people gave me dirty money. You know? And it was Jim Justice's Greenbriar Hotel and Casino. And I don't do those kind of things. So I wasn't a happy camper, believe me. Well, then when I came in later, again, a few days later or whatever, and I talked to their higher ups about the blackmail from their staff, and all this kind of thing was going on. And we was taking notes and pictures and videos, and we was doing our thing, you know. And nobody's going to sit there and do me in. Nuh-uh. I ain't taking the blame for people. I done that when I was growing up plenty. I don't do that anymore. So, anyway, so I was talking to them, and one of them met me out at the restaurant in town. And he didn't think that somebody was sitting there with a video camera watching us. How stupid is that, right? So anyway, all that's going on in that casino. And we was watching it. Them Russians come in laundering that money. And we talked to other people that lived in town. You know. And there were certain people that knew about the money laundering and things. But as you can all see today, Jim Justice is now the governor. You people are a bunch of damn slap idiots. He don't care nothing about you, me, or anybody else. In fact, he owes me 70 grand. He made the girl, oh my gosh, it was awful. The dealer girl. When we got her on tape now. We met up with her after she left there. She quit. She was bawling her head off. I mean, just a crying. And I was the only one playing at her table. And I thought, well, my Lord, what in the world happened here? Why is this poor girl so upset? Meanwhile, I'm up $70,000+, and she just starts making mistakes with the cards. Just all this stuff goes on, right? And then she starts bawling. Well, then she runs out of there. They made her cheat me out of 70 grand. Seriously, I'm a very good player. You know, I ain't gonna sit there and tell you I ain't, because I am. I just can't help it. I just like to play cards. It's my favorite thing to do. You know? So, anyway, they made that poor girl, you know, dealer, made her cheat me. And she started bawling. It hurt her so bad it wasn't funny. And then she quit. Because I run into her. And I told her how bad I felt, that she was so upset that night and she was crying. She told me why. And I recorded her. Seriously, folks. So, look, either grow some nads, get some spine, do something. He's playing tiddlywinks with the Russians. He's ripping everybody off. That's why he's so wealthy, you know. And he's now switched from Democrat to Republican so he can follow in the footsteps of Trump, because his billions of dollars aren't enough for him. He's just got to steal some more. And then there's other things you might be interested in, aside from all that. Lewisburg, West Virginia, they had a bad storm back in 2011, 2012. Knocked out the power lines for weeks. There were elderly and children on oxygen, including my mother. And, well, there was no oxygen left. The companies couldn't transport the oxygen. They couldn't get anywhere. The trees and the power lines were down everywhere. So the hospital, local hospital in Lewisburg, they was taking all the patients. They were slapped back. I mean, they was full. They even turned the day surgery into a place for all the oxygen patients. They were turning people away. They were hella flighting people in helicopter. Ambulances coming. People were bringing their elderly people that run out of oxygen to the hospital and everything else. They had to ship them off to other hospitals in other states and everything else just to help them. And, well, me, I'll tell you what I did. My mom had oxygen, and she had a bunch of empty E-tanks. I had, oh gosh, about 23 of them E-tanks empty. Well, I drove my car about 3 towns over, so to speak, a couple counties over, and knew a guy named Mike, and asked Mike if he'd fill up them tanks for me, and if he had any extras, if he'd give them to me. Then I made a deal with the hospital, you know, that I was going to bring them tanks, so they not. I'm telling you, bring them tanks, right or wrong. I was going to get oxygen to them people. So anyway, I run over a couple towns over, a couple counties over, and I get Mike, and Mike fills up them tanks and gives me some extra ones. And I mean, back of my trunk was slap full. And I was worried. I had blankets in between them. I was afraid they'd, you know, explode. Now, I mean, I was just a booking back through them mountain roads, trying to get back with that oxygen. Because this one lady in particular, they're so out of oxygen. This one lady, she had about 45 minutes left by the time I was heading back. And I mean, I had to get there so this woman could get her oxygen. They was waiting for me in the parking lot at the hospital, these people. And the nurses, you know, from the hospital. And a nice policeman pulled me over. He did. I was speeding. Yes, I was. And he took my license and all that kind of thing. And I was like, fine. And I asked him, I said, can I please get out of my car? I need to go check my trunk. I said, I got a bunch of oxygen tanks that are full in there, and I want to make sure they are not rolling around in there. And he was real nice. He let me go back there and open up my trunk. And I was looking and fixing the blankets and making sure everything was nice and secure, you know. And he come back and he said, well, he asked if I was a nurse or whatever. And I said, no, sir. I said, I'm just a citizen trying to help lots of people out of oxygen. And so anyway, he was a nice man. He did not give me a ticket. He warned me, he told me, and he was right. He told me that by me speeding, if I got in an accident, I wouldn't make it back to where my destination was with them oxygen tanks if I got in a car accident. And he was right. So he just asked me to slow down a little bit. So I did. And I got there just in time, and the lady was standing out in the parking lot, and I gave her a couple tanks, gave the nurses the tanks, and I helped give these people some oxygen. What's interesting about Jim Justice is he lent his generator to the hospital because they were having problems with theirs, and they were so overloaded. Well, he went back and took that generator from the hospital in Lewisburg, West Virginia, because he needed his generator so he could run his concert in the golf tournament. So he didn't give a rat's ass about people. He didn't care. And that's just one experience with Jim Justice. Then, during that same 2-3 weeks we had no power, we're all in line to get gas. And they're rationing the gas. You only spend so much money, $20 if I remember correctly. You could get $20 worth of gas. And everybody had to stand in line, and the gas station was giving everybody $20. Well, Jim Justice was behind us in the back of the line. I mean, the line was pretty long, you know. Well, he goes up past us with his vehicle, gets out of his vehicle, and says to the guy who's controlling the pumps, look, I need gas. Do you know who I am? I was there. We all saw it. We couldn't miss it. We was all standing outside our vehicle because it was taking forever, you know, for them, because people were getting gas. There were so many of us. And anyway, the guy looked at him that was controlling the pumps, and he said, yeah, I know who you are. He said, so get your ass to the back of the line and wait like everybody else. Well, everybody bust out laughing. Everybody was just, they were cheering this guy on because he didn't let Jim Justice step in front of everybody so he could get gas first, you know. And then that whole hospital episode that I told you about, that's honest God's truth. It's true. Well, then the next story I heard. Now, this is a story. I didn't witness this one, but I heard that Jim wanted another generator. So he called over to the next state over in Virginia to some store and wanted the generator. Well, this other fella ordered the generators and paid for them, and they came in. Well, I guess whoever they were mentioned it to Jim Justice, and he said, look, you give me them generators, I'll pay you double. So they let him have this man's generators. This man had already prepaid for his generator. Well, that man didn't like it a bit, so he had the state police go back and collect his generators from Jim Justice. That I know is, now that's what I heard. And then, I know some other truth about Jim Justice. There's a lady that works at school. Her husband works heavy equipment. They do things like excavate ground, flatten ground, take off banks, all that kind of stuff. And they have big machines. And they're Christian people. And anyway, but the wife, she works at the school. Well, Jim Justice wanted to put a sign up in the schoolyard. A commercial sign on school property, right? Well, he wanted to bully and push him into putting this sign up there because he's getting all these kids from out of town to play sports, passing over all the local kids in the town who want to get chosen for being athletic and they want to play sports. Well, that's why he wanted a sign. He wanted to promote his special children that he's bringing from out of state to play on these teams. Well, Lady School said, no, can't do it, Jim. Sorry. This is not private land. It's not a private school. This is a public school, and we can't have commercial signs on public property, on school property. Well, he started screaming at her and yelling at her and threatening her. Well, let me tell you something. I know this is absolutely 150% true because I know the two people that's involved. Well, the husband got information from his wife what Jim had done that day. And he went to Jim and he told him, you can fire me right now. I don't care. You owe me money, but you can go ahead and fire me. But don't you ever talk to my wife like that again. That's true. No, for a fact, was there, witnessed part of what went down, right? The local police. Jim Justice built their police station. He owns the local police. That's just the bottom line. So if you got any problems, somebody's trying to hurt you, forget it. Ain't happening. Real estate. You got a woman there named Martha Hilton, owns a real estate company. Well, she's all hooked up with old Jim Justice. A lot of the other real estate people are too. Because he has all that money and they're just like little doggies, wanting a doggy treat. They're going to sit there and sniff after old Jim and his properties or whatever he does because, they're going to make money. And they'll screw you, tattoo you, and tattoo you like yesterday. Seriously, folks, that's the truth. So that's a little bit of truth for you all. Now, seen on the news, and I don't know if I just repeated that or not, but he was a Democrat. Now he's switched to Republican. And believe me, it's not because he's got a change of heart or consciousness or his conscience is bothering him because he feels like he's on the wrong side. No, Jim Justice is Republican for one reason and one reason only. He wants to follow in Trump's footsteps. In fact, if you look at Trump and his history with all of his businesses, he's been sued so many times it's ridiculous, and he's ripped off so many people it's just stupid. And the same thing with Jim Justice. Jim Justice sold his coal mines to the Russians and owes $4 million plus in taxes, just so you're aware. Okay? He's got so many liens against him, been sued so many times it's just ridiculous. But why the courts don't call in the debt, I'll never know. He has sat there and worked people off their hard-earned, work, sweat equity, as we would call it, working on their backs, busting their ass, doing a good job, and he won't even pay them. And he's sitting there with billions of dollars. Is that the kind of person you want representing your state? Seriously. Hell, do you want him involved in politics at all to go to Washington? We got enough corruption. We got the issue with the Clintons and all the murdered people. The thing with the setup to run the pipeline over in Iraq and everything. And that's why they killed the villagers. That's why they hired Blackwater and all that kind of thing. And that was all involving the Clintons. And how many people's ended up dead around the Clintons. That's all we need is to add that on top of all the other mess. Is to have old Jim Justice. So, that's the truth. It's the reality. That's the way it is. So, welcome to my world. Wake up, smell the coffee, and either get off the pot or poo-poo. Seriously, folks. You know, I don't need to lie to you. That little asshole owes me 70 grand from that table. That poor girl was crying. You know, I could lie to you and tell you he owes me a lot more, but he don't. You know, because I'm not a crook and a liar and a cheat like he is. You know, and he's got to stop money laundering with the Russians. We're in trouble with the Russians. We got Iran. We got problems with the Russians. Now we got North Korea. And there's 2 other countries. And we're about to end up in war. And you people think you're suffering now? You're starving now? Just wait. Because the military's got to defend us. They're just going to suck us dry for some more money for the military. You think everybody's going to go risk their life for free? Really? So anyway, there's your truth. And I'm not the only one that knows what Jim Justice has been doing. He's a scumbag. An absolute scumbag. I'm just smart and I like to take notes. Gets me in a lot of trouble sometimes. People want to hurt me. So what? I'm still breathing. Come find me, babes. Waiting for you, you know? Done being afraid. I don't need to be afraid anymore. My mother's dead. They can't hurt her anymore. Right? My kids, they can't find them to hurt them. Besides, I took care of that. My grandkids, they don't know anything about them. Don't know who their parents are. Don't know where they live. So I think we're good there, you know. So the only one that can come after is little old me. And see, I got protection. I'm real smart about sending my stuff somewhere else. And then if certain people in certain places, certain things don't occur at a certain time frame, they release the info. That's what you got to learn about when people try to target you. That's what you learn. They can muck up your bank accounts. They can steal your identity. They can blackmail you. They can do whatever. But if you keep yourself some proof, so if something really bad happens, they can point the finger right at them and nobody else can, you know, they can't diffuse it. They can't change it. They can't act like they're innocent. They can't throw the suspicion off on someone else. See, you got to learn. Sometimes you got to go to the school of hard knocks. And I'm all about the school. So, anyway, now you know some more truth. I know lots of things. I've been all over the world and I've seen a lot of stuff. I've witnessed a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, and while we're on the subject, well, I guess I should do that on another video. The whole thing with Qatar is a bunch of bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Trump went over to Saudi, did a big old business deal with Saudi. Saudi in Doha, Qatar, it's called Qatar. They're like the Hatfield McCoys. Them 2 countries, they fight. In fact, Saudi Arabia is very jealous of Qatar. And if you look up the whole oil thing, you'll figure it out. So every time Saudi thinks they can put the screws to Qatar, they try to pull it. Well, Trump shows up there, 3-4 weeks ago, makes a big old deal with the Saudis, and they stick the screws to Qatar. That's just the way they are. And the truth of the matter is, they're claiming that Qatar is funding terrorism. And they're playing tiddlywinks with Iran. Well, that's not exactly true. The truth is, and I know this for a fact, because I was in Spain during the time when the princess came to visit. Every August in the summer, the Europeans, the Saudi princes, everybody goes to certain places to holiday. That's what they call it, holiday. They don't say vacation, they say holiday. Well, I happen to live in Spain. So there's a place called Olivia Valaire's. Only we would call it Olivia Valeri. And I would go there. Well, a couple of them princes got quite friendly with me, and I don't mean in a bad way, but they had bodyguards and all that kind of thing, and they wanted me to be, you paid thousands of euro, and you would have a whole area of seats, you know, sectional couches and so on and so forth. And they always asked me to join them, and then they'd have their bodyguards escort me to the bathroom and so on and so forth, right? So, that's the truth. Well, we all got kind of friendly with each other, and they knew I wasn't too happy with America, some past experiences I'd had, which happened to my sister and them's fault. But anyway, They're very well educated, Oxford and Harvard and so on and so forth. And they would talk. If he was in the in crowd, he was in the in crowd, right? Time to find out, some of them Saudi family members have been funding Osama bin Laden. Now, this was after the Twin Towers. This was back in 2002, 2003. I was there. I heard it with my own 2 ears. They speak really good English. You know, then they invited me to Saudi Arabia, but of course I never went there because if you're a woman and you get over there and they put you in their little harem thing, you don't get out. So I was told not to go to Saudi Arabia. So I didn't. Believe me. But that's the truth. So you want to do what's right for your country? Then do what's right. Stop sticking your freaking head in the sand. You know? Grow up. Make better choices. I mean, I thought I made bad choices. You people just seriously, honey, I don't even vote. That way nobody can blame me for making a bad choice, you know? And you're going to say, well, how are you going to make change if you don't vote? Well, sitting back watching the people you've been voting for all these years, I ain't going to be part of a catalyst in destroying my country and hurting the people. So, y'all need to take the truth for what it is. You need to stand up. There's many, 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 many more of you than there is the politicians. So, like I said, either get off the pot or poo-poo. Make a choice. I hope you choose what's right. You know, start standing up for Pete's sake instead of hiding everything, thinking nobody will listen to you. Somebody's going to hear you, and eventually somebody in the right place, the right power, the right position is going to hear you, and they'll help you. And you'll say, no, that never happens. Well, that's probably true in a lot of cases, but you just never know till you try. Right? So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed a little tidbits of information I fed to you today. Because it's true. It's just the fact. It's just the reality. Yeah. So, stop letting people like Jim Justice and the rest of them crooks ride off your hard work and your sweat equity and your back and take from you, and you have to sit there and struggle until you just get old and sick and die. Your name is not slave. You are not a slave. You're free and white and black and all the other colors. You're in America, the land of the free. Just do it for what it is. And for Pete's sake, stop trying to justify they do it so I can do it so you can rip people off. Seriously. That don't fly either. For the ones of you doing it. If I catch you doing it, you don't want to come near me. I'm good at flipping things real good, real quick. So, those who try to jack me usually get jacked 10 times worse in the end. That's just the truth. I'm all about truth. Always have been. So why don't y'all do what's right? You know the truth. Do something about it. Really. This is some really good homemade bread, I'll tell you. Just do what's right. You'll be happier if you do what's right. I'm going to do what's right. I don't care if they kill me. I'm going to make sure the truth comes out. I got grandbabies got to grow up in this world. I don't want my grandchildren growing up around a bunch of crooks. Believe me. You know, I try to tell my children not to do things either. You know? So, anyway, I'm going to lay down. I'm tired. My ribs is hurting. But, that's the reality and that's the truth. So y'all have a good day. Bye.